Yeah, everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all have a good day. I hope everybody's having been alright and all looking after yourself. So yeah, something different today. Like I said, I normally don't do these type of videos, but the company's been in touch with me and sent me a scope out called Oneleaf, and have sent me out the Commander NV500 digital rifle scope. So yeah, first time got one of these, so yeah, so I'd just like to say thank you to Jason and Oneleaf for sending me this out and considering me to do test it out on my channel and see what it's all about. So yeah, looking forward to this. But yeah, like I said, I've never used a digital scope before, or even tried to set one up or anything like that, so this is a first for me. I have already been through a few of the settings on it and set a few of the ballistics up and stuff on that and had to play about. But yeah, it was really easy to set up. I'm not very good when it comes to technology and stuff like that, because obviously I can't use a computer on out because I don't know how to work them. I struggle turning a laptop on. But I watched a couple of videos on this scope on how to set it up and that, and it's pretty easy actually when you get into the menu. And yeah, it shows you what it is. So yeah, they sent us this out. I have got two lenses in this box and stuff like that, but we'll go into that a bit later on. But yeah, don't know if you can see that. Films in 4K. 120 FPS, obviously it's got other films. We get two lenses with it. It's got two lenses with this one. And obviously you can change the reticle and stuff like that. What does this one say? Then on the back it's got all them on there, look. We'll just hold them up. Yeah, and that says lens detection. That's for when you're changing the lenses. They have like sensors on the lens, so it knows which lens you've got on it. You can take a photo. It's got HD port, so you can plug it into a laptop or onto the telly with HDMI cable. And then obviously you can see the footage, which is what we'll be doing a bit later on. And then it's HP rating, so it means it's waterproof. Picture in picture as well, so you can have two pictures on the screen. It's got profile manager 6 ballistic settings, so if you're using the scope on different guns, you can have 6 different ballistic setups. So you can swap from each ballistic setup depending on which calibre you're shooting or how powerful your gun is. And what's that one? Then it's got a one-shot zero as well. So on the one-shot zero, you put your crosshairs on where you're aiming, shoot your first pellet. So if your pellet goes high, you leave one cross on the point of aim, then you move the second cross like a ghost cross over and then up to wherever your aim point is. Then you press enter, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. And then that automatically sets you zero, and then hopefully we should get a one-shot zero. I haven't zeroed this in yet, it hasn't even been on my gun. But the gun I'm going to be using this on is my Gamo GX40 177. So yeah, and then there's a load of other features on there as well. Just hold that to camera if you want to pause and read all them on there, if you can see. But yeah, I did get a memory card with this as well, a 64 gig memory card. And yeah, like I say, you get the two lenses. One is 2x26 and the other one is 452 times lenses. And like I say, you get the SD card. You get an illuminator as well with this and stuff like that. But some of the stuff in this kit, yeah, you do have to buy separate. But like I say, we'll go through that as we go. So yeah, and there's the different crosses you can have as well. So you can pick different reticles, what you want on your scope. And you can also pick different colours to what you want on the scope. But like I said, this is my first digital scope, so I'm trying my best to try and remember what all the stuff is on it, because I've never ever used one before. Yeah, like so I'll just take it out. Hopefully that's picking up. That's just an instructional manual, and I think you get a 2-year guarantee on it as well. And obviously there's a cleaning cloth in that. I set this up as well without, obviously I've had a quick flick through the instructions, but I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to set them up and that. And then, like I said, I've done this without really looking at the instructions, just with the menu, because the menu inside the scope is absolutely brilliant and it tells you basically what to do. That's just a calculation of how fast my pellets are travelling, so I can set the ballistics up. I have to take my gun to the gun shop to put it through a chronograph, because I don't have a chrono, so yeah, I have to do that. But yeah, like I say, pretty good unit. It's all packed in the box as well, pretty good. Pretty tight, so it's a bit hard to get out. But, there's the unit itself. And obviously you'd have the lens cap covers on all the stuff that you get with it and everything. The side bit's a rangefinder, but I think you have to buy that separate when you buy the unit. But obviously if you want to use the the ballistic calculator, then obviously you need to buy that with it to make that work. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, like, but I think you do. Then obviously you've got the on-off button on there. This big wheel here becomes a menu button, so long press for your menu, and then short press to select which menu you want, and then you just turn the dial and set it in. And also that's your zoom as well. Just turn it, and then when you do the one shot 0, you click on your one shot 0 in the menu, and then obviously you take your shot, and then you dial that to move it across, and then once you've moved it across, you press it again, and then that moves your cross up, and then obviously once it's set, that's a photo and record button. You press that to enter your settings, what you've just done. Then obviously you've got daytime, starry night, and then nighttime mode on that. So when it gets dusk, that's what that button's for. Then that's one picture in picture, so you can have a picture in picture as well. So yeah, and that one changes a few more settings, but we'll have a look into that a bit later on when we get into the proper menu. Yeah, it's solid. It's metal as well. So it's not plastic made. It is all metal and stuff like that. So there's no room on this table for everything. Hopefully that's alright. Obviously you get that. That is the bracket that goes on that, and then obviously this mounts to your gun. It is a Picatinny rails style mount. So the gun I've got is dovetail style mount, so I had to buy a Picatinny rail for it to mount this on, which I haven't done yet. So hopefully this will be going on my gun today. Then I need to get it out to just do the 0 on it, and then that'll be hopefully my ballistic bit set up. You get a little bag just to keep it all in and stuff like that if you'd ever want to take it off your gun, but once it's on my gun it'll probably be staying on there unless I ever need to take the gun in to get it serviced or anything. And then obviously nice little cleaning bag. Yeah, packed it pretty tight. There's the smaller lens of the two, which is probably the main one I'll be using for the range I shoot at. And it has got dials on there so you can let as much light in or out as you want. And obviously they all come with protective caps on as well. And all them pins on the back there, they plug into the scope, and that tells, the unit, and that tells the unit which lens you've got on. So that's what them pins are there for. It's like a bit like the Sony cameras as far as I know. And obviously you've got your flip cap there, so just flip that up. Obviously you open that right up if you're shooting in the night, and then they do recommend keep it closed for daytime shooting. Then what you do, you unscrew this little bit here, and then you do have it. Looks a bit weird with this on, but that is a cap that screws onto there. That's a sunshade, and that keeps all the light out. So you're supposed to get better picture quality through the scope when that's on. So yeah, we'll give that a go at some point. So alright, that's one lens. Like I say, we'll have a look at all this in a minute. Probably. This is the big lens. Obviously same thing. Is that one just a bit bigger, so obviously you can get a bit closer up shots on that one, but I'll probably use a smaller lens most of the time, but like I said, we'll give that one a go and see what it's like. Which is exactly the same flip cap. Unscrew the front to put your daytime shade on, and it's got a cap at the back just to protect the pins. Battery charger, this is for the torch that goes on there, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, that's a battery charger. You do get a single battery with the IR torch, obviously to illuminate on the night for nighttime shooting and stuff. Now this is the first time I've had this torch out, so you've seen this the same time as me. So you can see. So that's the RI torch. It's got 3 settings on it as well, obviously low, medium and high. So depending on how far you're shooting or how bright you want to set it up. So that's for that. And then obviously this screws onto the unit on the top of your range there. Or if you've got like that, if you've got other Picatinny rails on your gun, you can mount it to one of them if you want. So yeah, like I said, I've never used that yet, so we'll give that a go at some point when we get used to this. Like I said, I can't really explain it good because it's the first scope I've had. So, and that's just the eyepiece that screws on the back, and obviously it's pretty flexible, so you can put your eye right up. Whether I use that or not, I think it might just keep a bit of light out so you can see the screen a bit better. But the screen on that is absolutely crystal clear without that on, so we'll probably give that a go at some point. And then any Allen keys, obviously to mount the scope onto your Picatinny rail. A few little bungs and washers and that for all the caps and stuff on the scope just to keep it waterproof. Then obviously you get your charging cable as well. But with this you can put a HDMI cable into it as well, then you can transfer the footage, what you see through the scope, onto the computer. So yeah, just a charging cable. Right, we'll take this box off. Yeah, this is the Commander NV500 digital day and night scope. I'll just put out the way so we've got a bit of room. Move that. So yeah, like I said, that's the torch. Like I said, probably needs battery charging or needs resetting. Like I said, I've never used that yet, so you have to look at that. So yeah, all you do with this as well, take your cap off the front bit there. I'll just put this lens on for now. Take that cap off, and then you've got like a little mark on there. And then on here, you've got like a little button with a mark on there. So you push the button in like that, and then just line that up, push it in, and then twist it. And then obviously that's what it looks like with the lens cap on. So we'll just open it. Looks a bit weird when you put the sunshade on it, like what I've seen on the videos. It makes it look a bit weird, but they are supposed to really work pretty good. So yeah, it makes it look a bit weird and stuff like that. But yeah, they are supposed to work. Like for daytime use. And obviously you've got that. You have tried the the rangefinder out as well. I've just been practicing with it. And you do get a reading obviously in your scope to tell you how far you are, how far stuff is and that. And then like so obviously that's your menu button and your zoom button and stuff like that to select. Then you've got your record button, short press for record, short press to stop, then a long press to take a photo. Then that's your daytime starry night, it's called, just when it starts getting dusk but it's not proper dark, and then you obviously your night mode on that. And then that one is your picture in picture, and it does something else as well. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, that's your picture in picture, and I think it can change something else on here, but we'll have to have a look at that. So yeah, not a bad little scope. Obviously set the power button and stuff like that. But yeah, you get your screws in there, so you screw your bracket onto the scope like that, underneath there with all the holes in the bottom, so you select where you want it. And then obviously you put that onto your Picatinny rail and sort it out the way. But it is a bit weighty. Yeah, I will say that, like it is heavy, but like I say, most of my shots I do anyway are pretty static. I normally wait for the animals come to me before I shoot them. But yeah, what I'm going to do is get a cable for it, and then I'll plug it into a computer. Then you'll be able to go. I'll be able to go through all the menus and stuff for you. And when you do press record, when you're shooting, the record button picks your crosshairs up, and it picks your distance that you're ranging. It'll put that in it, and then but there's a lot more inside what you see when you look through the scope than what's actually what records when you press record. So when you record, you can't record everything in the scope because it has got quite a lot in there. It's got a compass in the corner so you know which way you're pointing. It's got a calibration thing on the left hand side which tells you how steep you've got your gun up or your gun pointing down. Then it's also got another one on the left hand side for your canter, so it tells you if your gun's canted right or left, depending which way you're looking at this. But yeah, I can't wait to get out to use it. So yeah, like I said, really pleased with Oneleaf sending me this out to have a go and see what happens. But yeah, like I say, I can't wait to get it out on the farm and give it a shoot, and then properly get the ballistic pit set up on it. So yeah, see what it's like in the field when we get it out and stuff like that. But like I say, it looks pretty decent. Like I say, I've never owned or even shot one of these before. So like I say, I'm really looking forward to giving this a go to see what it's like. So yeah, for the torch, like I say, just push the button in the back. I did have a seal in there, that's why it didn't come on. So I've just took the seal out. And obviously, as a light in there, you can't really see it because it's daytime. And then what you do, you twist the lens like that to make it go further or shorter, depending on how much of a spread of you want the beam. But yeah, looks pretty good. That's off. So yeah, we'll give it a go. And like I said, that goes in there. So we'll try and put it on now, just quickly, just see what it looks like. yeah, just put it on low sleeve for now. But yeah, like I said, that's what it looks like. Obviously I will loosen that nut off and pull the torch further back, so it balances out a little bit better. But yeah, that's what it looks like with the torch on. But like I said, I'll only be using that when it's night time shooting, so it's the only time I'll be putting that on there. Because I don't have no Picatinny rails on my gun to add stuff on, unless, like yourself say, start drilling holes into my gun and adding it on. But yeah, like I say, looks a cracking bit of kit what I've seen on the videos. I have been watching videos on it and stuff like that, so yeah, like I say, really looking forward to it. Obviously we'll be able to do it better when we get in the field with it and give it a proper test out and a shoot. But I am going to get, like I said, a cable for it so I can plug it into the monitor, and then I'll be able to show you all the settings properly, and you'll be able to see exactly what I can see through the scope and stuff like that. But yeah, really looking forward to you getting this done. So I'll be able to do nighttime shooting now as well for the air rats. Oneleaf, I've said as well, I can keep the scope after showing it and reviewing it and stuff like that, so and testing it out. So thank you again to Oneleaf for giving me this opportunity to have a look at one of your scopes, and thank you for letting me keep it as well afterwards. So what I'm doing, let's have a look. Yeah, sorry I'm a bit all over the place at the minute, but like I said, I've never done anything like this before on the reviews. But yeah, like I say, you get a pretty thick book, so that's the scope there when it's all set up and everything. Hopefully you can see that. Just all the settings. That's all the bits obviously I got in the box with this one. But like I say, some of the bits, if you do buy it, you have to buy extra. Like if you want 2 lenses, you buy extra lens. As far as I know, if you want the rangefinder, you buy that separate. But obviously if you're using it as a ballistic calculator, then you want the rangefinder. No, that's what I haven't showed you. Sorry. No, like I say, I'm still getting used to this myself, so struggling a little bit. But in there as well, obviously SD card goes in the top there. You do get a 64 gig SD card with it, but I think you can put 128 gig in it if you want a bigger storage capacity. That one's the charging port, and then that one's the HMI cable or HDMI cable that goes to your telly, so you can see the footage through your scope onto a monitor. So that one's what that's for. And you're just like a little screw on cap. Just, keeps everything nice and tight and waterproof. So then you've got your different power modes on there. When you've got it on standby, you can put it on standby so that it's not constantly switched on. And then when you press record, it'll automatically record. See if I can find anything else in here for you to look at. That's what the picture's supposed to look like when you go through. But like I say, we'll have a look at the picture when I get it onto the monitor. And that's just telling you how to change all your lenses and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using the one-shot zero on it, like you see if that works. See what happens on that. And obviously it just tells you about your torch out and do small beam and big beam. Like I say, just twisting the end makes it go in further. Or like I say, if you want to light up a lot more of an area. It's just telling you how to mount your and there's the picture in picture there on the home screen. Don't know if you can see if that's picking that up pretty good, but that's what you can see on there. Right, so sorry about to say I'm all over the place, so pretty informative this, like, but like I said, I did watch a couple of videos because I've never ever used one before, so that'd probably confuse me because I do struggle to read and understand stuff and what have you, because I'm a bit dyslexic, so it was just easy to me watch a couple of videos and find out how they've done it. And there's all the menu settings there, what you go through to set it all up. Like I said, I will show you that in more detail a bit later on in this video. So yeah, quite a lot of information, but every box you click on, like I said, I've already been through the menu setting, and it's basically self-explanatory. It tells you what to do in each box, and then the ones where you need to set a bit up, it'll have writing at the bottom telling you exactly what you need to do to set the stuff up, and your ballistic calculator and what have you, and what you need to put in there. The only thing I will say, one of the options I had, I needed to turn the dial right down to lower the number, and I was turning the dial for absolutely ages to get the numbers right down. But yeah, like I say, once it's set up, and then it's set up for good, unless you take it on the thingy. That's the one shot zero I was on about there. See how it's like a double cross. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. But you leave one cross on the target, and then you move the other cross to your, obviously your bullet hole or your pellet hole, and then you press enter, and then it recalibrates it, and hopefully sets your sights. But we'll be doing it at a later stage when we get it into the field. And yeah, like I say, just going on more about the menus and stuff. But like I say, it is really a good book. It's got quite a lot in it, but I do struggle to read and what have you. And that's what you see through the scope when you put the scope on. Like I say, you'll see that on the monitor when I put it on. That's your view. But when you press record to record your shot, it doesn't record everything on that screen. It just records your crosshairs. Obviously the time, if you've got the timestamp on. The logo, if you've got the logo on. Then it puts you, when you rangefinder it puts your rangefinder in. And also, when you're shooting at distance on the ballistic, you'd have another little cross. And you see the cross going up and down. So when you rangefinder it, obviously it alters the cross to your target when you've got the ballistic calculator on. Yeah, I think that's it now. Just some bits, just general stuff. So yeah, so I'll get the HDMI cable, and then we plug it into the monitor. Well, into whatever the monitor on the telly, see which one can get it to come on. And yeah, like I say, I'm not very good with technology. Absolutely crap when it comes to technology and stuff, like even trying to switch a laptop on and use a computer, because I do all my editing on my phone for my videos. So yeah, I can't even struggle to use computers. Obviously, when we've been pretty thingy on reading and stuff, I do struggle to read and whatever. So that's why I can't really read most of the instructions. Obviously, I didn't go to school when I was a kid, but I think I am dyslexic. I've never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but I think I am, so that's why I'm struggling a bit to understand the words and whatever. But yeah, it looks good. So yeah, we'll get it plugged into I'm going to get it mounted on the gun actually, and I'll show you what it looks like on my gun, because I still need to set when you put it on your gun, to set the ballistic calculator up, what you have to do is measure from the centre of your scope to the centre of your barrel. Obviously, this is part of the ballistics bit that you have to put in. And then obviously you have to give it the distance between that and your barrel, obviously to calculate in with the ballistics, which I haven't done that yet, because obviously I haven't had it on my gun yet. So I'm going to get it on my gun, and then we'll get that set up. And then I'll show you what it looks like on the gun when it's all on. And then bring it back. Obviously, I'm not going to show you installing it, because all you do is bolt that onto the bottom. Bolt that onto the bottom of the scope, like I've just showed you earlier, onto there. And then obviously that goes onto your pick and teddy reel. So I'll probably have to slide it backwards and forwards to get the right eye relief on it. But apart from that, you should be good to go. So, right, like I say, this is the bracket you put on. So I'm just going to shut this on here. Line one of those screws up. That's it. So you just line the screws up, obviously easy. And these are the nuts you get, like little bolts. So obviously I'm not trying to teach you how to suck eggs, because they're pretty easy to do these. And also you get your Allen key, tighten them in. Just loosely tighten that one for now. So you get 4 bolts. I'm going to try that there. I think that should be good enough for me whereabouts it is. Just screw these in. I'm just putting them in loosely, not look at them land up. Yeah, like I said, it does seem pretty easy to use, especially when you go through the menu. The menu was self-expanding out to set everything up in it, and that's all. I found it pretty easy. And like I said, I'm no good with stuff like this normally. I'm absolutely crap when it comes to technology. So yeah, look at that set up. Because I'm not over tightening them just in case, because it's not going. Oh, by the way, then you can put this on the recoiling gun. I think you can put it on anything up to a 308. And when you press, if you have it on standby, there's an option in the menu that says, I'll go through the menu anyway, but it says, I think it says record on. So if you click that on, what happens if you take a shot with a recoiling gun, it automatically records after you pull the trigger, just in case you forget to press record. And then obviously if you forget to, you're shooting a deer or anything like that and you forget to press the record button, it automatically records the shot, but it records 15 or 20 seconds before you take the shot, so you don't miss the shot, if you know what I mean. So, because like if you pull the trigger then it starts recording, chances are you're going to miss a shot, so it does go back on itself about, I think it's 15 to 20 seconds, so you still get the shot if you forget to press record, obviously, when you take the shot. But I just leave that switched off, because obviously I'm using the PCP with no recoil, so that feature wouldn't work on this. So yeah, I just have to remember to press record every time I try and take a shot. So yeah, it's going to be a lot easier than the camera I used to use before. because I used to obviously have the camera mounted on top of my scope and try and film that way, which was a nightmare trying to move and shoot. But yeah, hopefully this will be a game changer, I'm hoping. So I'm going to get it put on the gun now, and then I'll see what happens. I'll just show you the gun in case you're new to the channel. Like I say, this is the Gammo GX40 177, and the pellets I use for this H&N Field Target Trophy. So I have set the ballistics up to that, to the pellets I use and stuff for the weight of the pellets, the size. There's an option in there as well, that's a BC. I can't remember how to pronounce it now, but we'll come to that in the menu. It's something to do with the pellet. I don't know, I'm clue what it means, but I'll explain it when I go into the menu. But I found out how to set it up. I went online, put my pellet in, and put the BC in my pellet in, and it came up with a calculation of what it is. So hopefully that's the right calculation and that's it. So yeah, I'm going to get this on here now, and then I'll bring this back when it's on. Like I say, all you're doing is the same way you set scope up, put it on, tighten the nuts, and then it's on. So I'm not going to bore you with that bit. So yeah, I've got on the gun now with the sunshade on and the eyepiece on. Truthfully, I'm not a fan of the eyepiece. If anything, it annoys me. But yeah, it looks a bit weird with the sunshade on the front of it. Like I say, it's just a bit of a plastic tube sticks on the front, but it's supposed to work really well, especially in bright light. But yeah, as you can see, because I've got the Picatinny rail on, it has made the scope a little bit higher, so I can't really show it to the gun, but we should be alright. But yeah, that rubber thing, yeah, I can't get used to that rubber thing. That's going to annoy me, so I probably won't be using the rubber thing unless it's really bright, and then I'll have to put it on. But yeah, just wanted to put it on to see what it looks like. Like I say, it just screws into your eye relief bit. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Like I said, I thought it was going to make it, it does make it a bit weighty, but it's manageable. Like I say, most of my shooting I'm pretty static anyway, and rather wait for stuff to come to me. Yeah, that eyes up better like that without the rubber piece on. So yeah, going like that. So yeah, another thing as well, it has a first focal plane view with the crosshairs and a second focal plane. The first focal plane, when you zoom in on the top, which is the digital zoom, it makes your cross get bigger. So you can, obviously when you're zooming in, it makes your cross get bigger as you're zooming in. But if you leave it on the second focal plane, I think it is, when you zoom in, the cross stays the same size, which is tiny. So I've put it on the first focal plane, so the cross gets bigger as I zoom in to my target. Yeah, like that, like I say, it comes up alright. So hopefully we should be alright with that. So yeah, I'll wait to get the cable, put it on a monitor, and then like I say, I'll go through the menu system with you a bit better, so you can see what it's doing. If I can work it out how to get it to transfer to computer, like I say, hopefully my partner will probably have to help me do that, because when it comes to computers and stuff, my 12-year-old daughter's a lot better than me, so she might be able to know how to transfer the footage to the computer, but I'll give it a go. And yeah, so I'll bring you back when I get the cable. My missus has gone shopping now, so hopefully she's going to grab a cable, and then we'll put it on the monitor. So might as well have a cup of tea while you wait for her to come back. That's another thing as well I forgot to mention. See, I'm picking bits up as I go along, and then I'm thinking, oh, I forgot to mention that, I forgot to mention this. But like I say, I've never used one of these before, or even looked through one. But the rangefinder that's on the side, obviously you can unscrew that and take it off, so you can just use the scope as a bare scope without the rangefinder. Obviously if you're only shooting a couple of yards, like with air rifles, you could just use old over and old under, so you wouldn't need the ballistic bit. But that's your reason for me why you buy these scopes, is to use the ballistics calculator on them. So yeah, like I said, I would recommend definitely the rangefinder especially if you want to use the ballistics bit. But yeah, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea while I'm waiting for the missus to turn up with hopefully a cable. If not, I'll have to nip out somewhere and try and get one to show you, like I say, the menu and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely fantastic scope. Like I said, I've never used it, but it looks good, and the reviews I've watched on YouTube already on this scope is absolutely brilliant. But obviously Oneleaf.Ai, they do loads of different scopes as well. They don't just do this one, they do quite a lot of different types of scopes. So yeah, it doesn't just have to be this one, they do quite a few different options and what have you. But yeah, like I say, just can't wait to get it out in the field and give it a proper test. So yeah, I'm just going to go make a cup of tea now. Yeah, I thought I'd just bring you back to say that before I forget. And say stuff. And like, so obviously that's a battery charger for I just showed you that there a minute ago, for this battery that's inside the IR torch. So you do get a charger with that and stuff. And like I say, big lenses. That is, what lens is that one? That's the bigger one. That lens is the 4x52 lens, and the focus range of that is for anything from 13, focus range 13 foot, and the smaller ones says 11 foot. But external rangefinder that's on that goes up to anything from 16 foot to 4,263 feet. So yeah, pretty good. Don't know what that means, 11 foot, like, so obviously that's going to zoom in more than 11 foot. And that's only 13, the small one 14. So, but on these as well, on the menus, like I say, I'm going to go through the menu. You can click it on, so when you're dialing in, like it says times 8, but it's really times 16 because it double zooms in. Or you can set it in the menu to one click, so when you click the zoom in, it only zooms in slowly. Or you can have it like doing double zoom. So each lens, it does say, like I say, I think I wouldn't say it's 8 times zoom, but it is 16. And the same that one, I can't remember what that lens is properly. So I'll have to have a look up on it, but yeah, you click it, and obviously it's got focus rings on it and stuff like that. And that one's got a focus ring on it, and it closes up like a camera shutter on a camera, so it lets less light in or more light, depending on how you want it to do. But yeah, right, definitely going to have a cup of tea now. Right, you right everyone. I had a nightmare getting an HD cable yesterday, so this is the next day. So I'm just going to show you the view through the scope. But that's what you see when you look through the scope. Obviously, up here you've got your compass. On here you've got your cant. So if you're pointing, you're going up or down, that'll tell you obviously how many degrees and that you're pointing up or down. Obviously your crosshairs. And as I zoom in with the crosshairs, I'll just show you. And the crosshairs will get bigger as you zoom in. They're on ×2, so every click clicks into 2 zoom, but you can change it onto 1 zoom, which I'll show you in a minute. Then that one over that side there is obviously if you canter your gun. That tells you you've got your gun canted. So yeah, that just tells you you've got your gun canted. And then when I switch the display on, I should have some displays down here in the bottom. So we click into the menu. To click into the menu, you just press the top button for a while, then it'll click you into the menu. But the button on the right is for your brightness on the scope that I couldn't figure out yesterday. It's for your brightness, and it's also for your playback. If when you take a video, you can play it back as well. So we click into the menu, long press on the top, then there's the menu. So reticle type. So we click on that, and I've got the top one selected, but there's 6 on there that you can choose from. But like I said, I've just got the top one. So click back out that one. And then 1 shot 0. That's what I need to do when I get on site. Sorry if it's wobbling a bit, but I'm trying to keep the gun as steady as I can. So we'll click on 1 shot 0. And then see your crosshair there. What you do, you take your shot. And then say if your pellet lands up here. So then you scroll the red cross away from the blue cross, as you can see. Hopefully this camera's picking this up because it is a pretty bright background. And then you top click the menu button to save that one. And then you scroll it up and it goes up like that. Obviously I'm not going to enter this because I haven't really set this yet, so I'm not going to set it because it could be a million mile out when I go and show you. So you move out up there, and then obviously you press the play and record button to recalibrate it, then that should be your gun centered. So yeah, we'll do that when we get out in the field. We'll go back to the main menu. No, that's saved. Didn't want it saving button, man. I'll just have to recalibrate it when I go back out. Right, and then reticle colour. Obviously you can choose whatever reticles you want. So you can have white, red, green, blue or black. Position, that is for your, that's a position when I zero the scope. That'll position it into the ballistics calculator. So then that'll obviously work it into the ballistics calculator, and then it should be on 0 and we'll be able to work out where I need to aim. This is your ballistics calculator. So look. So ballistic switch on, obviously to get your calculator on. Ballistic group A, that's what it was set at, so I've just left it on A. Ballistic coefficient, whatever that says, I don't understand what that means, but I think that means your pellet. So I googled my pellet, which is a H&N Field Target Trophy, and that gave me the ballistic coffee, whatever it says. Sorry, I can't read that bit, but that gave me that code, so I've put that in. The ballistic model's G1, which is set into the scope. Bullet weight, obviously pellet, I've put that in. in velocity, which mine's doing 748 feet per second average on a 177. Zero range, I haven't zeroed it yet, but it's on 20 yards at the minute. Sight height, mine's 2.96 inches. Shooting angle degrees, I just leave that as it is. Wind, yeah, gone down to 0.1, because that's as low as you can go. Wind angle, I've left that on 0, and then your altitude and your temperatures and all this bit here. If you just Google it to the area where you live, it'll come up and tell you what the averages are for your area. So that's how I've done that bit. And come back up with that. And then this one, the FFP and SFP, that's the one where I've just showed you, where I zoom in and the cross gets bigger as you zoom in. But if you put it on SFP, the cross stays small, no matter how much you zoom in. The cross stays the same. That is for your rangefinder, which I'll do it after I've done this. That's for your rangefinder, so you can put the rangefinder dot where you want on your screen, so it doesn't get in the way. ISO sensitivity, I've just left that on auto, because I don't really know about cameras that much. I measure me feet in yards. You can use meters as well if you want, but I'll just keep it in yards. Then obviously my aspect screen 16.9, which is what I'm recording in. Then this is the next one, movie mode. I'll show you the different settings on that. So you can film in 4K 30 frames, 4K 60 frames, 4K 120, 2K 30, and FHD in 30. But I've left mine on 4K 30 at the moment. Photo resolution, that was the main setting, so I've just left it on that, but you can change different resolutions. Movie clip, you can go up 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. I've just set mine to 5, so I'll just leave mine on 5. Auto record, I've got it off on this obviously, because with this being an PCP, it won't work. But if you've got a recoil and gun and you switch that on, it'll automatically start recording when you pull the trigger. If you forget to press record, the recoil starts it recording. But it records, I think it's either 15-20 seconds behind, so you'll get the shot on camera. Obviously that's your sound record, that's the mic and the scope. I haven't tried that out yet, but that will be getting tried out when we get this in the field. Exposure, I've just left it on nil, because like I say, I don't know out about that, and that's just the settings it comes in. Multi, I've just left the meter on multi. Like I said, I don't know how to set cameras up and stuff. And then all the rest of it I've just left on 50, which is what comes. But I think if you leave it on 50, the camera scope automatically adjusts itself to whatever. Saturation, like I say, everything on there. Magnification adjust. You can have it on 1.0 or 2.0. I think mine's on 2.0. Don't check. No, just leave it on that. I thought I had the 2.0, but right, I'll just leave it on that one. Red dot. Your rangefinder has got a red dot on it, a laser red dot, but I'm just going to leave that off. Backlight. That's for your buttons on the top. So in the dark, if you can't see what you're doing, your buttons do light up on the top of your scope, so you can see what you do. Obviously, once you get used to your buttons, you'll know where they all are anyway. But if you struggle a little bit, you can just have a glance at them and they do light up. LCD brightness 50, I'll just leave that on, but it was already set on. Pip, this is picture in screen. Let's have a look. Put it on. Then you get like a little picture up the top there, if you see. But I'll just leave it off. Don't need that on. Daytime's obviously for daytime shooting, which is what the scope's set for now. Starry is you press the night mode button on the top of your scope, and then it change it to like twilight type thing, just as it's starting to get dusk. And then night is obviously you switch it on to proper night mode, and then you put your IR torch on there to do that. Display icon, that's off. I'm going to switch that on. I think that just gives you other stuff on your screen when you're having a look. Display widgets is on. Compass calibration, all you do with that is, I'm not going to click on it because I've already set mine. You click on that one and it just tells you to wave your scope around sort of thing in circles in the air. And then that gives you your compass calibration. And the gyro calibration is you just leave your scope flat on the floor for a couple of seconds just so it gets level. And that's how you do that one. But like I said, I've already set them up, so I don't really want to click into them in case I disturb them. Pip position, that's your picture in picture. So you can set the screen where you want it to be. Obviously language, I've got English. Stamp. the logo, the stamp, that's the Oneleaf logo. Date and format, I've got it set in day, month and year, which is obviously the way we have it over here in England. Clock settings, that's just obviously setting your clock and what have you. And then you can format your SD card if you need to. That gives you your version card information, so it tells you what's on here. And sometimes you might get a thingy on there saying something about the software update. So if you click on that, it'll update your software. Then obviously that's your reset. So yeah, so we'll come back out with that in a minute. Right, long press. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to work in here obviously because so I'll try and point it in the kitchen, see if we can get the rangefinder on. So I hope you can see that. Like I say, sorry about the shaking, but I'm trying to spot this 100. There. So at the end of my kitchen is 10.3 yards. So that's how you do your rangefinder. You just do one click of the top, and then that should adjust. See the little red dot with a X on it? That adjusts to where your aim point should be. But obviously, yeah, I haven't got my zero sitting yet, so it's going up and down at the minute because I'm wobbling a bit. But yeah, that's how you do your range. Just to click on the button. We'll just turn that off. But yeah. Sorry about the wobbliness, like I said, I was just trying to pick the gun up. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean by the top of the scope, lighting up the buttons, the backlight. The top buttons have lit up. Sorry, I'll just zoom out a bit because that's a bit too close. The buttons at the top there, that's your menu button in your focus. Sorry, your zoom and focus and stuff like that. That one is your record. And you can short press for record, long press for the picture. That one is your twilight, sorry, your daytime, starry night, and then your nighttime mode. And then that one is your brightness, and also you can play back your video that you've just took as well. So yeah, not bad. So yeah, that's all the settings that you see through the scope. But that on the computer there, what you can see now, as far as I know, when I press record to record a thing, most of it doesn't show up in the recording. Obviously, you get the cross, you get that bit in the recording, and you get the meters. But as you can see at the bottom now, it's got all the logos on. So it tells me I've got a full battery, 99% on my card, 50% brightness. That number one is the first ballistic setup, and you have 6 different ballistic setups in it. I'm not too sure what that one is, to tell you the truth, and then that's what camera lens I've got. So I've got the 2x 30mm camera lens on. If I swap it over for the big one, then obviously it'll go to whatever times it is, and then I think it's 50mm, the biggest one, so then that'll switch to 50. So it just tells the computer what I've got on it. So yeah, that was the settings on the scope and stuff like that. And like I say, really easy to follow and to go through and set it all up. So yeah, like I said, I'll show you the results and stuff. But yeah, they're really easy to set up, even for me. Like I say, I do struggle reading that, like especially the manual and stuff like that. I can read and stuff, but I just take time to process it into my head and stuff. And sometimes I struggle with the words and to understand them and what have you. Because like I say, my partner, well, I think I am dyslexic, but like I said earlier, I've never been diagnosed. But yeah, it is really easy to set up. And like I say, you can just follow all the menus, and it does put drop-down boxes in the bottom as well to tell you how to do certain stuff. So yeah, like I say, it was really easy to set up for me. So right, we'll get on to the last bit of the video now. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, that's all the functions on the scope. Obviously, I'll learn more about it as I'm getting to use it. Yeah, so we should learn more about it. Yeah, like I say, it sits alright on there. It's a little bit high, but it's still usable. Like I say, I think I'll probably get a smaller Picatinny rail, like a low one down, I think, just to lower the scope down a bit in the future, but it is usable at the minute the way it is. So yeah, looking forward to getting in the field to using this. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, like I say, it seems solid body on it and stuff like that, and it seems well made. And like I say, you can change the lenses for bigger lenses, and yeah, I've got loads of different lenses at the moment. I think they keep bringing new lenses out, so you can interchange the lenses depending on what you want. Obviously, if you're shooting a rimfire, you're going to be shooting further distance than you'd have with a air rifle, a sub 12 foot-pound. But yeah, like I say, just and like I say, Oneleaf did send me the scope out to have a look at and use. So like I say, thank you again to Oneleaf. So if anyone is in the market for a digital and nighttime scope and they're struggling or they fancy look, take a look on the website at these. Obviously they don't just do this one, they do different scopes as well if you're interested. But I will leave the link in the description, and there's also a discount code on me they've given me a discount code, so you'll get 10% off the discount code, and I think that's till the 20th of May, the 10% discount lasts. And then after the 20th of May, it'll go down to 5%, but I think it'll stay at 5% then. But the discount code's going to be Sean's Adventures NV500. But like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for the scope and with the discount code if anyone's interested. So yeah, like I say, if you're in the market for digital scope, yeah, I could definitely recommend just having a look at their products to see what you think of them and stuff like that. But like I said, the proof will be in the pudding when I get it out in the field. They haven't shot through it yet. So the next follow-up video to this will probably be us shooting it in the field. And getting some recordings and that with the ballistics calculator set up and everything like that. So yeah. So yeah, I'd just like to say again, say thank you to Jason for sending me this out and asking me to have a look at it. Really do appreciate it. So yeah, if you're in the market for a scope, and then like I say, give them a look up, see what you think. But yeah, like I say, we'll get it out shooting next time. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it's a bit long, but there's quite a lot to go through. I was going to do it in a few parts of the video, but I just wanted to get the main scope bit done. Now we can just get on with the fun bit, which is the shooting and stuff like that. So yeah. So yeah, like I say, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.